Shalom, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakudash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to like I did, doing his work of faith and live with love and true sincerity. All right, now I want to get into a quick topic, um, just based upon waiting on the Lord, and we, just being in the flesh, a lot of times you get, caught up with different things, and you just be so fed up with this world. You're just like, Lord, we've just in this already. You know what I'm saying? But it's never it's never a moment to where you should get to a point where you know you should feel like taking matters into your own hands. That's always the wrong approach, because that's the way in which Esau wants us to go, for us to get ourselves jammed up, and that's not the spiritual route to go. The spiritual route is always to take the low. It's always hard, but the longer you acclimate to everything and letting everything settle, to know that we're basically supposed to eat shit on this side. It doesn't feel good, but hey, you have to settle with it, because we know what we're headed for, and Lord willing, that is the kingdom, the glory, by being patient. So this Zephaniah 3:8. Therefore wait ye upon me, said the Lord, until the day that I raise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So, with everything we going through, the oppression of Esau, the oppression of the other nations, them, feeding this cat, rat, and dog up in them gook restaurants, them taking advantage directly. So them taking advantage directly of our neighborhoods and where we live, to make money off of us. Yeah, but everything that they've done, to take advantage of us, from the food supply, the air, the water, in which we drink on all levels. These nations have something heavily to fill from the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. And we know that when that day comes and the Lord put that spirit upon us, it's going to be a glorious sight and a glorious feeling, to get revenge on all of our enemies, But until then, it's always remain spiritual. Always remain spiritual, above all else, because we know, as I said before, we know what we're fighting for, and it's not about the flesh. It's not about the flesh at all. The flesh just tries to get us caught up in the thinking, this should be done or that should be done. I've seen, you know, uh, things happen, regarding this truth early on, from people being carnal, and, just seeing the results of those type of things. And we hear about, things that go on in Israel from guys being carnal, and that should just let you know more of which way not to go, which route, which not to take, and how to be more spiritual. We have to constantly learn from not only our mistakes, from the mistakes and actions of others as well. That's very important, towards our growth within this truth, But 2 Corinthians 10. I'm gonna start at from the top. 2 Corinthians 10:1. Now I beseech, now Salaki, now I Paul myself beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Yahushua, who in presence am base among you, but being absent and bold toward you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present with that confidence, wherewith I think to be bold against some which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For we walk, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. So Paul thing was like, yo, you know, at times it's about the balance. At times you're going to be bold, but overall it's about the meekness. And when people think you to be one way, you show them what it really is. You have to lead by that example, because it's so easy for anyone to get carnal, for anyone to get, rowdy and rah-rah. That's the easiest thing to do. That's why Jake is the way they is. They ready to curse somebody out. They ready to go off. They ready to do this. They ready to do that. Because what? That is the easiest thing to do. The hardest thing to do is to take the low road, man. That's one of the hardest things for people to constantly be able to accept. But if you look at it within his lifetime, we're spiritually rich, but we're walking L's. we take losses all day long, just living within the society. As us being Israelites, our life right now is a walking L. But towards the spiritual realm, towards everything spiritually, we have the W, Lord's will. We're a part of that elect. But walking in this flesh on this earth, being subject to everything in which we're subject to on the fleshly tip, hey, we're walking L's. We take the loss all day long. So it should be nothing, knowing that the fact of and what we're facing, for us to take that low road, man, and to be comfortable with that, because we know that this is not our rest, this is not a society. So why should you truly expect anything more? The Lord grants us what he grants us. We're grateful for everything, but why expect more than what the society has to offer, which is nothing? Why expect more than Esau to treat you a certain way? Why expect more than the other nations to look at you a certain way? It's simple, man. Verse 3, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High to pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of the Most High, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushua, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. So it's just showing you that it's all about having that being subject to the ways of the Most High until he's ready. When when our obedience is fulfilled, then that's when we're gonna what's the word I'm looking for? That's when we're gonna reenact or act upon the vengeance of the Lord, because it's the Lord that's going to put it within our spirit with those spiritual powers. It's the Lord that's going to do that for us, and that's why we always go here, the book of Ezekiel 25 and 12. It says, Ezekiel 25 and 12, thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom have dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and have greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Dedan shall fall by the sword. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to my anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord. So this just drives home the point even more, and showing you why that these other nations, and primarily Edom, that they have to pay, and they're going to pay greatly, man, for all of the offenses in which they have committed, against us as a people. The scriptures say, well, it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living power. So Esau, you got something else, and especially for all of the turmoil and things in which brothers go through. Just imagine the Lord putting his anger within us, and the things in which we've been through on this earth. or in the end, or if the Lord has to or if Esau tortures your family, does something to your kid, does something to your, you know what I mean, to somebody that means something near and dear to you, how much more of that anger is going to pour out of us, when the Lord puts it into us, and that makes me think of 300, when one of the main characters next to Leonidas, like I pretty much consider like his right hand man. What happened when his son got his head, knocked off? Well, he went blood drunk after that and just was sliced one dude up like 11, 12 different times, man. And then cried out for his son. So that's that's the indignation that's going to be within us. That's the indignation times 100 million that's within the Lord. For from these nations doing what they did to us, the apple of his eye, and for them destroying the earth as is, man. The Lord is reaching this boiling point. That's why when it gets into in Revelations 18 and it talks about America's sins are reaching up to the heavens, the Lord is allowing it to reach to that boiling point so, hey, he can fully tip the pot over, man. And when he tipped that pot over, it's time for us to get on that ass, Esau. Now we get on that ass spiritually, but then at that time, through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, it's going to be time to get on that ass physically, man. So with that, I hope this segment was edifying. And I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakwadash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect out there doing this work of faith and live with love and true sincerity. Shalom.